Haunted house. In 2022, a video was uploaded to the internet by a woman in Canada, which apparently shows a ghostly figure emerging from a creepy looking doll that proceeds to chase her pet cat around her apartment. Kathy Gallinger, from Quint West in Ontario, claims that she cannot go to certain areas of her home and is terrified of an invisible resident that haunts her living space after she installed CCTV equipment and captured some eerie activity. After moving into the home in August 2018, the mother of one says her 20-year-old daughter, Jaden, and husband have experienced numerous paranormal incidents, such as shadows appearing out of nowhere and following her around, as well as objects moving around the apartment by themselves. With no explanations as to the weird events, Kathy, who works as a call center operative during the day, decided to set up a camera to try and catch a glimpse of the entity. And capture it she did. Take a look. As you can see from the footage, Salem, the family cat, is seen observing a 1950s antique doll, which was given to Kathy by her mother. As the curious kitty approaches the doll, its prosthetic hand moves slightly, before a dark mist emerges from behind it. The 3-year-old feline is visibly shocked and runs as fast as it can from the dark mass in sheer terror. The ordeal took place in the basement of the property, where Kathy explains, "My TikTok followers asked me to put the camera in with the dolls overnight in the basement, as that's where most of the activity is, and that her daughter heard him outside and let him in, and he was clearly afraid of something. She said, 'Mum, you might want to check those cameras because the cat's crazy scared.'" The video has since racked up more than 600,000 views, but has also sparked skepticism and criticism for the camera's convenient positioning and the family's opportunity to gain online followers, likes and attention. After calling in her friend, a psychic medium, Kathy was reassured that the ghostly apparition was not hostile, despite the house having an incident in the 1980s, whereby a group of teenagers dabbled with a sinister Ouija board. She then decided to respond to the doubters by insisting that she, herself, is a skeptic of such things, but that the footage was 100% genuine. The 45-year-old states that "I love this house. The only way we'd consider moving was if it became violent, or if anything was to harm any of us." As of today, there has been no signs of hostility from the supposed poltergeist, and so the family remain at the residence and continue to post online with regard to anything supernatural. They seem to be getting used to the weird goings-on, and so are relatively comfortable in its presence. As for Salem, whose name is a fun coincidence, well, he is doing fine, as far as we know. Haunted Oxford Castle. This next video was uploaded in 2022 by a Reddit user named Stuart James Author under the R-Ghost subreddit. The title of the post begins, "Footage I recorded recently while carrying out a paranormal investigation at Oxford Castle." Oxford Castle and Prison was constructed by Norman Baron Robert O'Doyle after William the Conqueror invaded England and won the Battle of Hastings in the year 1066. In recent years, the site has become a visitor attraction for history buffs and ghost hunters alike. It is said, like many ancient structures, that Oxford Castle is home to various entities and spooky happenings within its walls, one of which the user believes to have caught on his camera. The castle's website itself discusses possible culprits that may be responsible for the scary events and visions, which help fund the preservation and upkeep of its edifice. Some believe that the ghost of Empress Matilda, daughter of Henry I, whose cousin locked her in the prison chambers to infiltrate and attain the throne for himself, died whilst attempting to escape. She is said to make an appearance now and again at the castle, seemingly wearing a white cloak and scaring the on-site guards on various occasions. Others believe that they have seen the headless ghost of King Charles I, who was found guilty of treason during the English Civil War and subsequently beheaded for his crimes. The king's presence is often felt within the academic area of the castle and has been spotted many times by tourists. Another ghostly figure, that of Colonel Francis Windbank, is also said to haunt a certain area of the castle, known as Dead Man's Walk. Windbank supported the Royalist cause during the English Civil War, but was eventually captured and court-martialed and shot in 1645 for failing to defend the Royalist base of Bletchington Park. Or could it be George Napier, the English Roman Catholic priest who was hung, drawn and quartered at the site on the 9th of November 1610 after being found guilty of treason? In the aftermath of his gruesome death, his body parts were displayed across the city gates, but his spirit is said to roam the grounds of the castle, seemingly in search of his beloved niece, who disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The video in question itself only lasts for 30 seconds, and is of the Reddit user himself investigating the internal rooms of the castle. They seemingly capture the face of someone or something at the window, and a shadow appears to sweep across the path of the camera before they decide it's time to leave, or in their words, run for the hills, after they re-examined the footage. Users of the popular site have commented on the post, giving their opinions on the paranormal video. Some question the quality of the video, whilst others are simply entertained by some scary found footage. What do you make of it? Ghost caught on camera. This next video is a little hard to make out at first, so you may have to strain your eyes a little or go closer to your monitor to see it at best. We promise there's no jump scares. Another post under the subreddit Are Ghosts was uploaded at the start of 2023 by a user named Failed Talk Show Host. The title is rather vague and is part of an ongoing series of posts whereby the person is reporting on their camera's ability to function and capture what seems to be a ghostly figure in the background using night vision mode. The title reads, Continuation, Left Running Overnight, Attempt at Night Mode Video. Upon initial viewing, one can barely make out the position of the camera itself and what it is actually recording. In this case, it seems to be pointing towards a door that is slightly ajar within a darkened room of a house or apartment. A green-coloured light is visible just off-centre within the shot. This is most likely a display clock or monitor of some kind. Naturally, the room is very dark, especially if the user wanted to capture something using its dark mode function. What they caught has certainly spooked users at the site and got people talking. Again, it's hard to see upon first viewing and is best observed through the assistance of fellow user WXMike94, who decided to take it upon himself to enhance the picture quality and that of a ghoulish entity that appears in the background. The user, whose real name is Mike from New Jersey, posted the following message in response to the original video. I just edited the video to adjust contrast, and I'm not going to bed tonight. Many were quick to click on the link and have a look. In the end, we're not disappointed. One can better see an orb-looking object or head as it floats into view, swaying from right to left in an unusual manner, before rapidly vanishing out of sight towards the right-hand side of the screen. Could this simply be a speck of dust, a drop of water, or perhaps a spirit that has accidentally walked into frame? Whatever it is, users have taken to the comments section to discuss and debate it, with many wishing they hadn't looked at the video, especially before bed. Perhaps Failed Talk Show Host may have something to talk about after all. What do you make of this one? Ghost Adventures. It's a common occurrence when investigating, provoking, or merely being in the presence of the paranormal, that dangerous events or incidents can take place. In the case of this next video, one would certainly agree that having a brick launched at your head is something that many would not wish to encounter, especially when you are on the lookout for ghosts. Unfortunately for Zach Bagans, a paranormal investigator and television personality, this was the case, after he and his colleagues spent a night in one of the most haunted buildings in the United States. The Goldfield Hotel was considered to be one of the grandest, expensive hotels in the popular state of Nevada after its construction in 1908. However, after many attempts at refurbishment and renovation in the years following World War II, the lodging was left abandoned. Nowadays, it is a famous tourist attraction for ghost hunters and historians, and is said to house the spirit of the supposed mistress of politician and economic powerhouse George Wingfield. The woman, named only as Elizabeth, seemingly became pregnant with Wingfield's child, and due to fear of being exposed, the so-called King of Nevada chained her to a radiator in room 109 throughout the entire duration of her pregnancy. After the baby was born, Elizabeth seemingly disappeared without a trace, with many believing that Wingfield killed her or paid her to stay away from him, whilst others believe that she died during childbirth and the baby was thrown down a mine shaft underneath the hotel grounds. Visitors claim to see the ghost of Elizabeth and hear her cries for her lost child. Another entity known as the Stabber is also said to haunt the hotel and attack those who dare enter the building with sharp objects that appear randomly from nowhere. Due to the violent nature of these attacks and paranormal experiences suffered by the apparent victims, people are warned to stay away from the site. However, this didn't stop the Ghost Adventures crew from attempting to make contact. Whilst filming the 12th installment of the 4th season, the aptly named Flying Brick episode broadcast one of the most talked about scenes in the show's history after it aired on the 30th of September 2011. Zach was accompanied by Nick Groff and Aaron Goodwin as they attempted to communicate with spirits during a planned overnight stay at the abandoned hotel. The trio wandered around the complex before heading into the basement, when out of nowhere, a brick is thrown towards Bagans, striking him on the torso. A moment of chaos ensues as the team are startled and take off running, not to mention shocked and terrified at what the supposed ghost was capable of. After reviewing the footage at length and with additional support from video technicians, the team were also able to decipher a moving figure near one of the hotel windows, as well as the direction from where the brick was launched. Considering the history and numerous testimonies from those who have stayed or entered the hotel, this could be a genuine piece of paranormal activity caught on tape. Could it be Elizabeth? Could it be the Stabber? Or could it just be choreographed entertainment? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Poltergeist. The thought of living with a ghost would likely scare the majority of us to our very core. For others, the belief in the supernatural and connection to the afterlife is something that brings a tremendous sense of comfort and peace, especially if you know for sure that the spirit is that of a deceased loved one. Then there is the third kind of people, those who live in a haunted house, not knowing what exactly they are dealing with and why, yet seem to get on with their lives and accept that a poltergeist has decided to take up residence in their home. Popular YouTube and TikTok personalities Lainey Clark and Ben Hubbard are regular content creators whose channel, Lainey and Ben, has gained a lot of traction over the last year or so. The couple, who are both teachers from Buckinghamshire, claim as of 2018 to share their home with not one but two spirits named Dave and Andy. As you can see from clips in this segment, there are various incidents involving what many would consider to be paranormal activity in their household. A video posted on the 16th of July 2022, titled "The Most Aggressive Poltergeist Activity Yet," is well worth a watch to understand what the couple are going through on a day-to-day basis. Take a look at this.
This Christmas, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Oh my God, another one!
Please tell me to call that one.
I don't say now.
This just goes to show how unprofessional you truly are.
It took my breath away.
Take
And
my
then I
breath
said it
away.
before I thought. Isn't that weird? Like when you start to laugh and that sort of energy.
You're just going to play that off like, ha ha ha, yes, I didn't know.
No, like I'm sick.
Me.
Doors appear to open and close on their own, often slamming and scaring the young couple as they go about their daily lives. Lights begin to flicker, and at one point their Christmas tree shakes and moves around whilst they watch television in the living room. As the couple have come to terms with their guests, they have decided to document and post videos on their chosen platforms, in the hope that they can understand the reason for such activity. Eerily, on the 28th of February 2022, after the ghost hunting duo welcomed their son Apollo into the world, Lainey claims that she died for 3 minutes on the operating table during a troubled C-section. Lainey states that my lungs stopped working, I couldn't use my voice or move my eyes. I had no way of telling the doctors that I was suffocating. The last thing I heard was them saying my heart had stopped. It was during this point of having one foot in the afterlife that she noticed a young, fresh-faced man with 80s-style floppy hair, tall and around 20 years old, whom she calls Dave. This entity is the most active spirit in the house and is responsible for the majority of the spooky goings-on in the home, including rolling the couple's gym ball across the floor and moving their coffee cups around. Andy, the late brother of the couple's psychic medium friend Sam, is not as active, but is said to visit them from time to time, especially now that baby Apollo has appeared on the scene. It is said that babies have a deeper connection and awareness of spirits, so perhaps the little one has already made some friends. What do you think? So that's it for this episode of Creepy, Spooky and Scary. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow for another paranormal themed video.